Okay, so what I've learned is that if you decide to buy a plant from one of the big box stores, Lowe's and Home Depot, that the best thing to do is to change the soil out right away. Otherwise, you could have a surprise of trying to figure out what's going on with your plant weeks or months after you get the plant. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about why as I change this soil out. So here's a plant that I just purchased from Lowe's. And what I've learned is that Lowe's and Home Depot often get their plants from Costa Farms. And Costa Farms often will use soil that is meant for water retention. Soil that's used for water retention is a little different from the watering schedule that we often have once we take the plant home. And it could ultimately lead to root rot or other water-related challenges. So I am going to repot this plant in a more aerated soil, and I'm also going to swap out this right here for this right here. I'm excited about that. So anyway, I'm going to pick off this soil, and I could see that it is like sopping wet. Probably because it was just watered, but it is like wet. But the roots actually look really good. They are white, but this just feels like mud. So I'm just getting off most of the soil, and then I'm going to rinse it. It being very wet is actually helping the soil to just fall off a little bit. I'm not seeing any kind of root rot, which is great. And this soil actually looks like it has perlite in it, which is also really good. I am going to use a soil that is the soil that I mixed. It has perlite, it has orchard bark, it has, let's see other stuff it has in it. It has charcoal, and it has some of this, what is this stuff called? Cocoa core in it. Yeah, so it's an aerated soil. So I'm going to just finish picking off as much of the soil as I can. Which again, like I said, it's easier because it's very wet. And then I'm going to make this water room temperature. And I'm going to rinse it. This also gives me a great opportunity to do a double check for any kind of like bugs or anything like that. I'm so nervous. I've never had any, other than fungus gnats, I've never had any kind of other bugs. And I'm just so nervous about it. I'm just so nervous. All right, so I'm gonna move this out the way, and now I'm gonna start rinsing this. And as you can see, the roots look great. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better roots. They look really, really good. So this will be pretty quick. The other thing that I am doing is I'm repotting all of my plants in a clear pot so I can really watch them feel like this is pretty good. I'm gonna repot it, but first let me find a size pot that I want to use. And I'm thinking, now I feel like that might be, I'm gonna try the next size up. So let's try next size up. And then I also have this pot, which is meant for a chunky soil, more chunky soil than the one that I have. I wouldn't consider chunky, but it's definitely aerated. So let's see. So I like it because it has the soft side. So I'm just gonna take a little, looks like we will be using the Velcro. This one might be a little bit too big. And I am going to, this one might be just right. I want to put the soft side towards the plant. This one might be just right. Perfect. And I'm just wrapping it. Just look at this one more time. I don't know. Maybe I will start out with, well, then again, it's not going to be, the roots are already going to be like buried down into the thing. So this one's going to give me a little bit of room to put. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with this size, because then I can put a little bit of, get rid of this soil. So we're going to go with this size pot, and just set this right here. I'm also going to, I might as well rinse while I have these. I might as well just rinse the leaves. And I have some neem oil and cast-oil soap, and I will also wipe the leaves down with that as well. Makes me feel so much better about bringing plants into my home, especially from, the big box stores. Just because I feel like the nurseries are just a little bit, they have less, so it might be just a little bit more dedicated, a lot more dedicated to the care of the plants. So at least when it comes to the soil, I don't swap it out. I trust the soil that the two local places that I go to, I really trust them. I trust the soil that they use. I talk to them about it. I know it's appropriate for the plant. So yeah. All right, so there's that. I feel like I have gotten this plant just about as clean as it's gonna get. So I'll just set that over there. And I will let me get these other pots out the way. Here's my pot that I am gonna use. And here's my soil. Like I said, this soil is aerated. It has charcoal, it has cocoa coir, it has orchard bark, and it has perlite, and obviously it has non-peat soil in it. So it's like really, it's really good. So I'm just going to put a little bit in the bottom. Give it like a couple of inches of soil. Then I'm going to take my plant and I'm going to put it in there. And I'm going to backfill it with soil. just gonna turn this around just so I can get this other side. And I'm pushing more towards the front because I am gonna put the trellis in the back. Pretty good about it. I feel like all of the a little bit more here, because I also just want to make sure there's no pockets. This actually already came with a trellis on it. So I'm just adding a trellis back in. And I am going to, I have a combination of either this Velcro, which I like, but I also like these little plastic clips. I don't know if these will work well, so I do have the Velcro just in case. But let me see. And then I'm gonna also just put another piece down the bottom. And this should give a great deal of support. Oh look, there's that dang on spider. So the spider was on the plant. And now, hopefully, it's in my napkin. All right, so here we go. This is done for now. I am going to water it fully tomorrow. Once it settles a little bit, I'll water it and then maybe add a little bit more topsoil once it the water makes the soil settle down a little bit, and I think we'll be good to go. I feel really good about it. If I have any problems, I know it won't be the soil. Here we go.